You ever thought about starting your own podcast? You know, like what I got? Well, let me tell you, when I was starting out, I had a lot of questions. Didn't know how to answer them, didn't know where to start. How do I start a podcast? How do I get off the ground? How do I record my episodes? How do I get them on the major platforms like Spotify and Apple Podcasts and other places? Well, the answer to all of those is one thing: Anchor FM. Anchor FM is a one-stop shop for recording, hosting, and distributing your podcast. Best of all, it's 100% free. Free 99. You cannot beat that. And what's better, it's ridiculously easy. And now Anchor can match you with great sponsors too, so you can get paid for your product, like moi. Let me tell you, when I started out, I'm not even going to say the names of the places that I was trying to have my podcast hosted at, and it was nice, and I thought I was happy for a while. But when I found out about Anchor, 100% free, limited space, the only way you can beat that is if they pay you. And I guess if you do ads, they kind of do. If you always wanted to start a podcast and making money doing it, go to Anchor FM /start to join me and the diverse community of podcasters already using Anchor. That's anchor.fm /start. Can't wait to hear your product.
Salutations on behalf of the Hyphen Podcast Network. We bring you part 2 of episode 1 of a podcast called Fresh. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe.
A podcast called Fresh. Hey!
Hey, yo, what up?
Yeah.
We back. It's me, Maps, man, Tony Stank, a.k.a.
B-hyphen, a.k.a. Kelen Conley. How you doing?
What's going on, y'all? So anyway, like we were just saying, but yeah, I was just talking to my man, thanking him for being here, and it's just, he was just saying, you know, all the shit before and whatever. And this is like, we were saying, I was telling him with the comics and stuff and a lot of things. Next one I want to try to, hopefully we can cover whenever, you know, Mr. Billionaire, Playboy Philanthropist is free. Want to get into that Superior Spider-Man.
Yeah, that's next on the reading list. So as soon as I wrap,
That's next on the reading list.
I'm going to make sure I get all 30 issues of Superior, because I know I have the first 8 or so downstairs somewhere, but I don't have the whole run. And I know the whole run because obviously as a Spider-Man fan, you kind of have to know what's going on even if you're not currently reading every single thing. But I've never read it entirety, so that's next on my list.
Because that's what made me go back to reading Spider-Man. Because I read and I was going to, like, after Maximum Carnage, I read that, then I kind of stopped. Because at that kind of point, it was in the whole super everybody's an anti-hero, Punisher, kill you on your grandmama's porch, fuck the police type stuff. And Spider-Man was just ass out.
Was a ride, man.
Oh, it was. That's the thing. Side note, I mean, I can get into this shit with the whole Venom thing. I didn't want to see that junk. And it's like, with me, you can't do Carnage if it's not rated R. It's no point in doing Carnage if it's not rated R.
That's the one thing that Marvel pulled off that's still, it's almost beyond me, because obviously they didn't have to show the blood. But there was never a doubt in anyone's mind that Cletus Cassidy was murdering everything in sight throughout that whole series and his first appearance. Like, he was a serial killer.
Oh, he was murking the hell out of people.
100%.
You know, low-key, who I think play Carnage? Well, I couldn't see, like, as far as the actual Cletus Cassidy and be crazy, Carrot Top.
Oh, man. He's swole enough, and he's creepy enough looking.
He couldn't play the actual Carnage. He could just, as far as, like, talking crazy. Because, like, Carnage has a sick backstory.
Yeah, he does.
My man killed his own mom. I thought, like, the whole thing with that, we'll get into that later, but it's like what we were saying about the Spider-Man. That's hopefully one of the next things we don't get into. I liked Superior Spider-Man. That got me back into it because I stopped reading again after Civil War, which I thought was dope. When he had got the black costume. I stuck around through One More Day, and then Brand New Day. I was on for like 2.5 years, and then I don't know where I stopped. I feel like it wasn't that long after Anti-Venom showed up. Maybe I can't remember the exact point. I think it was before what was it? Dark Reign. Before Dark Reign started in the Spider books. I feel like that's kind of where I felt. I love Dark Reign. Dark Reign. That's another one. Like, we don't have to get everybody in for that pitch. Because Dark Reign, I think that jump was just so ill when it was just literally a year where the bad guys was winning. Straight up winning.
And you know what was cool with me? Norman Osborn.
Oh God.
Because Norman Osborn is like numero uno villain no matter what to me. Of course, I'm a Spider-Man guy, but Norman's just on some other shit. He always has been. Him and Luthor just always on some other shit.
He's low key the Marvel version of Joker. On the low.
Yeah. Yes.
And that's low key how they need to play the Green Goblin, because that's the dopeness. Because Norman Osborn is so not that. And it's crazy because once you realize that nigga's calm composure is not calm composure, that's him barely keeping it together at all times.
I know, because he's insane.
He's
the
insane.
Goblin formula warped his mind beyond recognition, bro.
And I think they should do that now because, dog, with the whole Trump thing going, nigga, dog, him running the shield.
It'd be perfect.
That junk was evil. It'd be perfect. Him running shield, the first thing my man did was get a whole team of Avengers who were all villains.
Yep. He sure did, man. And then he replaced everybody. Like, who was Bullseye? I forget. I'm already forgetting who.
Bullseye was Hawkeye.
Okay.
Bullseye was Hawkeye.
Bullseye was Hawkeye. And then
Docking was Wolverine.
Yeah, Docking was Wolverine. They had a Scorpion was Spider-Man, right? Because he had the Venom.
Yeah, he was Scorpion. He had the Venom. Yeah, he was Spider-Man.
Yeah. So, like, I read that first Dark Avengers trade when it came out, and I was like, this is crazy. I was mad when it ended. It was only like 4 or 5 issues. It wasn't long enough. So I definitely went and picked up the next one after that. But Dark Reign,
that whole thing is just dope.
There's a lot of stuff from Marvel to mine still, which is crazy because we're only at Infinity War in the movie. So if this thing keeps going the way it's going, we could be looking at a Dark Reign here in the next, I don't know, 15 years, Maps.
That would be dope. And that's like another thing in the game. It's just, we all over the place, and this is fun to get used to. This is what we do. I don't know if you ever read 52.
Oh, yeah.
But I think at some point, DC, maybe not their end game, but one of their big things needs to be 52. If they could literally do, like when they're doing movies, a year of movies with no Wonder Woman, no Superman, no Batman, because that whole story was literally, a comic came out every week. It was a year with no Superman, no Batman, no Wonder Woman. And it was dope because Luthor had this thing called Everyman where he was giving anybody can get powers. And he was giving everybody powers. And it was this dude called Nova.
Yeah, everybody was becoming a superhero.
Who was Nova, and it was just so dope because it showed how another reason why Lex Luthor is one of the best villains of all time. He's in the same area or the arena as Frieza. That people who know damn well what they're doing is wrong. And the ramifications of why it's wrong and still do it.
Mm-hmm.
It's like he gave everybody powers just to draw Superman out. Then on New Year's Eve, he cut all their powers. So it was raining people.
I know. That artwork is one of the most scariest yet brilliant pieces I've probably seen in my life. When I saw that, I think it was on the cover, people falling from the sky, right?
Yep.
And Luthor just watching. I was like, yo, this dude is crazy.
And that was the whole thing about just on my favorite one, which was one, and we got to cover that one time when we get everybody on there. One of the best pictures is just showing, the consequences of powers when my man, John Irons, his niece was in a program and she got powers and they had her hooked up to this machine. They had a hose in her mouth, all these two, and it just showed like the fear in her face. And it was like, Luthor was like, hey, if you want it, you got to be willing to suffer for it. And I thought that was dope. And it's like, we were saying before, even with the crisis of conscience, that's why kudos to you, let me say side note, because we be in these group texts, y'all, and I am always hating on shit. I don't try to hate on shit. I am just such a purist. And it's like for me, like I was telling you before, I was thinking of movie ideas before the movies even came out. So in my mind, like I said, I've been seeing all this stuff. Like I was the only person in theaters in Infinity War when people started turning to dust, I was laughing.
Right.
And because, and it's like, I just look at this stuff and just like how we look at it, you could take Nextwave. And a lot of this stuff you could take and easily turn it into a great movie that is marketable and a great story. But I can understand that a lot of stuff. I'm going to say all this shit in Infinity War. I mean, then the end game is going to come out and I'm going to be like, oh, I feel like a dumbass. It was everything I thought I missed in all the other movies. But it's just they got too many dope stories, too many dope ideas to just be going on some okie doke. Like the X-Men, why do y'all keep falling back on the Phoenix saga? That should be a 10-year goal.
Oh, bro, like they messed up the Phoenix saga twice now because the first two X-Men movies were far, far, far from perfect. But X-Men 1 was fine. I loved the shit out of X2. And then at the end, when they teased the Phoenix, and with all that momentum that X2 had built, I was like, this is going to be so dope. And then Bryan Singer had to go and direct Superman Returns. And then they bring in Brett Ratner to do X3. And that's not the Dark Phoenix story I wanted to tell. I don't remember how much input Singer had on it, but they messed that up. And I haven't even watched an X-Men film since Logan. And before that, it would have been Wolverine. What's the second Wolverine called? I want to call it Wolverine 2. No Wolverine. That's what it was called. Yeah, I watched that, and I watched Logan. I haven't watched Future Past. I haven't watched Apocalypse, and I damn sure ain't gonna watch Dark Phoenix.
I couldn't do Apocalypse. And it's like a lot of this stuff. It's like a lot of these things they're doing wrong.
Yeah,
like nigga, if you love Apocalypse, if you have any love for Apocalypse, they did him wrong. And it's like for me, always when I'm down in the dumps, I just listen to Apocalypse dressing people down. Like the way he would talk, like it would make you feel like I'm going to kill him, not just because he's doing this evil thing. My man said, "You say you're trying to kill me with your laser beams? You're no closer than the Greeks and Romans with their arrows and fire sticks."
Yes.
My man said, "I am the shore of eternity. Crash against me and be broken."
Yeah, he did, man.
Dog, he was the man, and it's just it's like when you look at it, dog, when the cartoon had more drama.
Oh yeah.
And action, then I'm happy with this. What they talk about eventually doing X-Men versus Avengers, which I think could be cool. But I think even with that, it's so much stuff they could do with that stuff with the X-Men. And I think if done right, it'd be all right. But don't touch on the Phoenix Saga. That should be like a 10 years or later goal. Yo, it's so many things they could do and other stuff they could touch on. Just villains in general.
That's the crazy thing about X-Men, man. And I hope, like, considering that Marvel finally completed the deal with Fox and everything, I'm hoping that they really take the time to kind of rectify all the things that have happened, because there's nothing wrong with going for the money grabs and getting the movies out and people going to go see X-Men and stuff like that. And it's worked in the past. But with the quality that Marvel Studios set, there has to come some kind of consistency and quality from the X-Men universe. Us X fans deserve that much. And there's just so much stuff that can be done, like you mentioned. Like the one story that comes to mind. I mean, hell, the story of John Side's X-Men alone, that could be a movie thing, because spoilers, here we go. You get Charles Xavier recruiting new X-Men to go to the island, to Krakoa. I'm probably saying that wrong. I don't care. To go rescue the other X-Men, or he thought they were dead, but they're going to go fight there. So he recruits Wolverine, Storm.
You just gave me an idea too.
Colossus, Warbird, and then Banshee. So he sends them off with Cyclops, the only surviving X-Men. They go to the island, find out the island is the real mutant, end up saving the original mutants. But then, so right there, that's one movie. But then there's two other angles you can do. You can do the continuing adventures of the X-Men.
Yeah. And
then they can find out, oh shit, Charles Xavier sent a whole team of mutants over once before and they all got killed. And then he wiped Cyclops' mind. Let's do that in the third movie. That's 3 freaking movies that are be insane to do. And that's just John Side's X-Men.
Oh man, that's how they can end, like with the when they introduce them. Let's say if they do it in, because they said the Endgame is the last of a Marvel movie for a minute.
Yeah.
But whatever movie they do, the next one or whatever, at the end they could be like, hey, you hear about this guy, rich guy in Westchester, got these kids, he sent them out here doing so. You gotta look into it. Shield, blab. And they could have that whole thing, which could easily lead into X-Men versus Avengers, but you gotta think about it. They would be completely operating under the radar.
Yes, they would.
And they would think, okay, this is a school for gifted children. Why do you have a fighter jet?
Not just a fighter jet, one of the world's greatest technological warfaring air flying planes ever.
And this is the thing that I want to get into. 2 dope spinoffs they can do. First one, I've been saying this forever, and everybody think I'm bitching for no reason. Everybody, when they talk about, oh, it's need a gay character, this person should be gay. Dog, if you do not know, I am telling y'all this now. North Star, you need to look this guy up. He has been gay in Marvel Comics since before that shit was cool. And they were saying that shit to his face, and he was whooping people's asses for it.
He has been.
It's issues of X-Men. He went to help somebody. And they were like, oh, thank you. Oh, you're North Star. You're that gay superhero. Oh, don't touch me. He'll be like, bitch, I'll leave you here, and leave him.
I know.
And it's like, he has the illest backstory. Him and his sister, they're like the Wonder Twins. He was a professional ice skater. His power is he can go so fast that nigga can fly.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
Yeah, he is ill. He's not. It's like, it's dope for him because a lot of times he fight people that talk down on him because he's gay, and he ends up whooping their ass.
Right.
And it's like, as far as being shady and throwing shade, he was the first person who told everybody Hercules in the comic was bi. And they was like, what do you mean? He said, come on, dog, before you on dog, before you on And Hercules was like, I have. Hercules does get around. And it's like, and of course, he was one of the first. They had a big special when he got married, which I thought was ill because it was organic. It wasn't like, oh yeah, we just made this character and this and that. He was dope. Y'all should do that because you can give, if done correctly, North Star a spinoff by himself. And I'd watch that shit.
I mean, shit. What you could really do with him is, on the Disney Plus app, whenever that shit's ready, is give him his own series, give him 10 episodes and see what happens. That's what I would do. Let you really break down and get into the character's world like that instead of even doing a movie. Just give him a series on Disney.
Oh, better yet, you can do a spinoff, Alpha Flight. That's a show right there.
Alpha Flight.
That's a show in itself right there. Then you can have it in, which has happened many a times, damn near the whole team dies.
I stand for Heather Hudson so hard, so.
Oh, yeah.
100%.
Yeah, and that's like, they're a dope team in themselves. They would be like the Doom Patrol of Marvel.
Yeah. Yeah.
And like you could do that, have him with them. His sister goes crazy. That's his solo thing. It'd be him dealing with his crazy sister apart from Alpha Flight.
And the phases just keep rolling. We already got X-Men stuff. We got Nextwave. We got Alpha Flight. We got Avengers versus X-Men possibly coming with the right things happening. So this train don't stop, man.
If you really want to get into it, I got another idea, and I'm going to tell you after this break. And I'm killing it with that. We'll be right back, man. 1 second.
It's like sound advice, or whatever. It's like comics, conventions, and cosplay, or whatever. It's like ladies' night, or whatever. It's like wrestling, or whatever. It's like parenting, or whatever. It's like anime, or whatever. It's like spiritual warfare, or whatever. It's like great friends, awesome people, coming around doing what we do best, or whatever. You should watch, listen, and follow, or whatever. It's like a podcast, or whatever.
Hey y'all, it's a podcast called Fresh.
All right, we back. I'll wrap this up in a little bit, but here's the other idea I have for y'all. Mm-hmm. We just pitched the North Star, which I think by itself. Side note, his solo thing, if you want to spin off into a movie, romantic comedy. There you go.
Okay.
Pitch it for a date night movie with the chicks. Bada bang, bada boom. Give him a female friend who's eye candy. He's going to fight sometime in the movie. Dude may not care. He's going to watch that part. It's a Marvel movie. He's going to be looking for Easter eggs. Bam. There you go.
Nice. I like it. I like it a lot.
Another movie I had. Here's another one you can do a spinoff. I told you about this before. Rogue. You can come from her being a troubled young teen. Mm-hmm. Who I hate to quit doing parallel pictures, but she's the Raven of Marvel. Yeah. I like how they did with the Wolverine and X-Men TV show. Had her like a grunge kid.
I forgot all about Wolverine and X-Men.
Do you know who would be great to play her if I had a time machine? 2 people.
Who?
Old girl who played Vicky Valancourt from Waterboy.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Murphy. That and also the only reason I wouldn't want to put her is that because if I can bring her back, she's Harley Quinn all day. Imagine her with Heath Ledger. It writes itself.
Man, now you're just making me sad.
I'm just happy. This is shit I sit by myself and I'll just be laughing. My wife is like, "What? I just did an awesome casting. What are you talking about?" Never mind, wife. And with a road movie, have her be a young girl from the South. You have her be a foster kid or whatever. She finally gets somebody who wants to take her in. It's Raven. Bam. It's Mystique.
Yep.
Life of crime, blah, blah, blah. She's doing her stuff. She's trying to get in good. At the end of her movie or whatever, they make her take Captain Marvel's powers.
Mm-hmm. Which is where her powers came from in case anybody didn't know.
Yeah, you was right. That's a lot of people. And that's why I love the X-Men cartoon. That shit was mad slept on. The only thing I did like about it as a kid, when it's like, oh man, we're about to fight. Wolverine pulled out his claws. I'm like, he's about to get Magneto to business. But first, this wave of robots. Like, really, dog?
Always got to hit him with the jig, man.
Yeah, it's this wave of robots. But like, I think that junk is dope because, like, even with Mystique, who I hate the fact that how they do her in the movies, because Mystique is a ill character. If you the fact that you got to look at it like this, dog, Mystique is the kind of person you can know she's a killer. She's tried to kill some of your friends. The other ones she has, and she'll still tell you, "Listen, I need your help." Blah blah. You'll be like, "Damn, maybe she does." She's that good, and then she still stabs you in the back. She has to be that good.
Yeah. I like Rebecca Romijn's portrayal of Mystique way better than the first three films than Jennifer Lawrence, because Jennifer Lawrence has went from good guy to bad guy to back to good guy, I guess, because I haven't watched. But I really thought Rebecca Romijn nailed the role. Even the next three, I thought she was still really good, even though she was like only in it for a little bit. I just feel like if I had to see Raven Darkholme on screen, that was definitely it. So I don't know if I would let her do it again and be Mystique, but I would definitely.
We gotta get somebody else, and the person who plays Mystique, you gotta be. I want Mystique to be like. Have you ever read the one when her and Wolverine had that fight in Mexico?
Oh yeah, I read that.
That to me, like that was ill with Mystique. That she was like ass naked in the middle of the desert, not because it's ass naked as she's hot. That it doesn't matter what I have on. I'm dangerous with 2 guns, and they went at it. And it's like they never portray her. Like, that's what I like about her. And I'm going to get into the side note, y'all. Again, let's name this episode Side Note. Again, this is I guess it's my plot. I'm going to say what I feel. That I think a lot of time, I'm not anti-feminism. I feel, with me, like characters like Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman, and a lot of them, as whack as it is, and y'all going to laugh at me, I learned a lot of stuff about feminism and stuff from reading their comics. Like, I looked at it like Wonder Woman wasn't like, respect me, because I'm a woman. She was like, no, respect me because I exist. And if you don't, I'll beat your ass. And I'm like, dog, that's ill. She didn't want no special treatment. She was like, no, I do. Like when she told Superman, do you know why you don't see my rogues running around? I don't arrest them. When you cross Wonder Woman, you get put down.
Yeah.
I'm like, dog, Wonder Woman.
There ain't no coming back from that.
Like she's the one that tell like Wonder Woman, you don't got to kill them, but they'll come back, Batman. And I thought like a lot of stuff I thought was ill. Like even with like Storm. How she could hold her own and everybody was scared of her. Not just because of her powers, just because of her respect that you're going to give me mine.
Oh, Storm is a badass. She's been a badass from the day she walked onto the comic
man,
page.
Yeah, that's why and then since we can get into that shit too, I'm going to come back to that shit. I'm saying I'm mad about, you see old girl who plays Storm, she was beefing with the fans about, they were saying they should get another person to play Storm.
Yeah, I did.
And she was like, I'm not black enough. And everybody was like, it's really not about you. It's just we want someone who looks like the character.
Right.
That's about it. I mean, it's not that many big, prominent black female characters that we got. We just got Shuri.
Yeah.
As far as the media.
A little over a year since we got Shuri.
Yeah, so it's like, well, everybody knows Storm. All little black girls knew Storm. That's all they had pretty much for the most part. That, and if you watch Captain Planet, Gaia. But.
Nice little.
But that's all they had. And it's like, with that, she was mad about that, and she trying to call, I guess, like sideways or diagonal racism. But it's like a lot of that stuff. It's like, dude, we don't get that many characters. Just let us have this, But in her point, right. I can't knock her because it's like if somebody hired you to sing opera, and you could be like, hey, Maps, I don't feel comfortable singing this. That check clearing, right? Yeah, your daughter's still growing, right? She don't need stuff, right? Yeah, I don't care if it sucks. Go out there and sing. I do backup. We need this money, baby.
Exactly. Yeah. So I don't fault her at all.
No, I don't fault her at all. And it's like a lot of times, and for me, and I've told you this shit before, a lot of times when people look at me and they get mad and stuff about the comics and stuff. For a lot of us nerds and blurs and all that stuff, like this stuff is like almost religious. Like with like Star Wars geeks and shit. Like I keep it real with y'all. I named my daughter after the mother of Batman's son. Specifically for that reason. And so this is like big stuff. I wanted to name her Diana after my mama and Wonder Woman, but I kind of got vetoed. But I snuck Talia past it, and after wife looked it up, she realized what it was. But it was too late by that point. Like, when people talk about y'all tripping, this and that, I said, well, we just look at it for a lot of like you look at it like me and you, dog. You can say it's like almost as long as you could read. It's been a part of your life, a part of your existence. It's like everything. I was sitting on my porch thinking, like, dog. I'm waiting for Professor X to come. I feel special. I know they're just going to come get me one day and take me away from here. And it's just all that stuff. And it's just even for, and I'm sure there's a lot of little white kids who could draw a parallel between the X-Men and racism.
Yeah.
And a lot of stuff you learn And people have learned life stuff from reading these comics. Why I was so sad when Stan Lee left.
Oh God!
Because as weird as it was,
You might have heard me cry on the podcast, so I was there, man. Yeah,
it's still not real to me, and it's like he was literally our Willy Wonka.
Yeah,
he was literally 100%. Our Willy Wonka, and it was like, oh, yeah. It's like, dude, it's like he was like the same reason why I liked Willy Wonka. He was like, you can grow up and not be a dick. I'm still a big kid. It's like, oh wow, that's awesome. And just to see him in the movies, you can just tell he's happy to be there.
Yeah, every single time. The Spider-Verse cameo that he has every time, it's really messes with me now, because like he's talking about like, and when he sees him in the movie, when Miles sees him, he's talking about I need Spider-Man costume, and he's like, here kid, and then he's like, one size fits all, and he's like, this looks too big, and he's like, he said it always fits eventually. And then, of course, throughout the movie, Miles grows into being Spider-Man and stuff. And then Miles mentioned something about the mask can be on anyone. And, of course, that's something Stan said years ago, that Spider-Man could be anybody under the mask. And now he's this black Hispanic kid who's suddenly Spider-Man in his world. And Spider-Man can be anyone under the mask. Every time, man, it was just kind of chokes me up a little bit thinking about Stan.
It chokes me up too, and it's messed up. It's like he's of my list. He was on my list of white people that I'm like, dog, please don't. I don't need no scandals. I don't need nothing to happen, because it's like him and like Bob Ross, and a very short list of white people that I'm like, dog, you help me hold out hope for everybody. Like, okay, he exists. Mr. Rogers exists. Okay, I can hold out hope. Right. I can believe in a better place. And then like you hear like Mr. Rogers was like, oh my God, Jesus Christ. It's like with Stan Lee. It's just like, dog. I love him for what, even with like he saw with Black Panther. And I got into a big debate with somebody, and it was weird. I almost wanted to call one of y'all to say something, because they was getting on me, calling me a coon for saying I love Stan Lee. And I'm like, dog, he changed my life. He made almost more of an impact on my life than some people who I saw on a regular basis.
Yeah.
He gave me, with comics and stuff, somewhere like, for me, I live in my head. And it gave me somewhere to take and just put my mind somewhere else, like we was talking about before. Like my parents, he got me into comics in general. And through comics, it got me through so much shit in my life. Batman got me through my parents' divorce. You know what I'm saying? And it's just, just for him just to think that comics, and just how he said, it's an everyman thing. And that's when I get mad when people simplify comics and stuff, because when you look at the formula and how he did it, it was not no Simple Simon shit.
No.
It was a method to it. And even like you look at Spider-Man, and when it goes back to me, it's almost like, it's like Greek mythology. It's universal truth that like Spider-Man, you take Spider-Man, you can give him any powers. The story is still good. 10,000 years, if there's people on Earth, you can relate to that. Nobody gets power. Slightly gets drunk off said power, doesn't stop murder. It's not my problem, rightfully so. The world's been shitting on you up till then because you've been a nerd and a nobody. But find out that one time you did not help, screwed you over for the rest of your life.
Yep. Changed everything, man.
And it made you think. And just all that stuff. And even with, like, I remember, and this is whack. Again, not whack, kind of lame, because for my life I remember reading the Spider-Man comic, and they had Cardiac in there. Mm-hmm. And it blowing my mind that he was a black doctor. I think he was a heart surgeon.
That was crazy for me too, because I mean that was like 92 or 91 when I read that. So I was like, yo, there's a black bad guy in here, and he's a doctor, and why he's on a run, and of course the cool thing about Spider-Man wasn't the type to be like, all right, bad guy, I need to go get him. Yeah. Spider-Man was trying to figure out what was going on. He's like, because Spider-Man's ultimately trying to do what's right at the end of the day. So there was never a moment where Spider-Man was like, I'm going to whoop your ass, Cardiac. It was always like, I'll stop you from hurting other people or yourself.
Like, what is it this time, dog?
Help me to help you.
Yeah, that's how he was. He was like, help me to help you. And he was like, nah, dog. And I thought that joke was so ill, how his backstory was that I seen something need to be done. I made all my shit in my tech myself.
Mm-hmm.
And he was dope. And I'm like, dog, they so should do him in a movie or something that had like, hell, that's probably how they going to get Terrence Howard in the MCU, how him play Cardiac.
Right.
Like, man, I'm going to take you down, man. But all that stuff was dope. And just even with, like, I thought how the X-Men and stuff, they had Muslim superheroes. They had North Star. We just touched on that before.
Yep.
They had all kinds of different races and stuff of people. For him to make Magneto and Xavier, Malcolm X, and Martin Luther King, and made them that they're both right in a sense.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, it's dope. He didn't make it so it's like, oh, it's one needs to be one bad guy, one good guy. They both have it's dope. And just how he wrote the comics, character development, all that stuff. And you just like, I look at like a lot of that stuff, but some of the movies, you don't get that in a lot of it. And with some of it, like you look at DC, with them, the bar is so damn low. But side note, Aquaman, I thought that was pretty okay.
Yeah, I haven't watched Aquaman yet, but eventually I'll get to it. I'm actually excited about Shazam. I'm not afraid to admit it. I want to see how Shazam turns out.
And again, that goes back to the bar being so low.
That's probably why I'm kind of excited to see how it turns out.
I know this is going great, but with DC, this is the thing that gets me with them, dog. They have so many fucking awesome characters, dog. They could do something that it's like not even just doing movies about them, just putting them in movies. And we've already seen the Guardians of the Galaxy, and I would admit, I thought that shit was going to suck. I knew it was going to suck. The only reason why I went to go see it, my homie was like, I will pay for you to go see this movie.
Yeah, me too.
And as soon as the movie came on, bam, 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 I said, oh shit, okay, let's see what's up with this. Okay. All I know Chris Pratt was from Parks and Rec. So I'm like, I can't see this junk. And I'm like, okay, all right. And it's like, cool. I'm like, with DC, they just need to work on making their universe.
I don't know why they haven't tried to bring back Green Lantern yet, to be completely honest with you.
It's too big of a task.
They almost got it. To be completely honest with you, Green Lantern was not good. The one with Ryan Reynolds. But a lot of that stuff worked that was in the movie. They just had some of the beats in the cast was definitely wrong.
Green Lantern, they should do. That should be another long haul movie. You have to touch on, that's what I was telling you before, I thought how they should have did the Justice League movie. Starro being like the main villain. Therefore, you can introduce a whole bunch of random people and have them fight them without exactly saying too much about shit. Then they say, oh, I don't know what's going on. I'm confused. Some get away, some don't. Introduction into the DC universe. Maybe one of them, it could be at the end, you got to fight Mongo. Mongo be beating everybody's ass. Last second, blow, Green Lantern come in. Don't stay long, take them away. Introduce the Green Lantern Corps. Then it also introduces who sent them, the Starros. From Apocalypse, Darkseid, bow. So whenever in the future, when they fight him, you're going to need Green Lantern. Then once you do the Green Lanterns, they police the universe. Not the solar system, the universe. So to bring that in, you got to bring a whole bunch of shit with it.
That's true.
And I don't think DC knows what they want to do.
They don't.
And I think they're going the wrong route.
I think they're going the wrong route too. I think they're trying to course correct now with Aquaman, and then with Shazam, whatever happens with Shazam. And then of course they have the Joker movie that's supposed to come out here in, I guess, next year with Joaquin Phoenix as Joker. And then Suicide Squad 2 is going ahead, and they're taking out like Will Smith as Deathstroke, and I heard Idris Elba's in his Deathstroke. Harley Quinn is getting her own movie, and I think it's going to be Birds of Prey is going to get introduced to that. So they're course correcting. It's just a matter of if these corrections actually land with the public.
Because their Civil War could be Crisis of Conscience, or better yet, the Tower of Babel.
That's what it needs to be. The protocols.
Dog. He said, "Who's killing us? I am."
Yes, man. Tower of Babel was so sick. Of course you would think Batman would have backup plans for everybody, but to have somebody actually steal them and then implement them on the team, that was just amazing.
That could be the second Justice League movie, because if you want to do with a young Justice League, get that out of the way.
Oh, yeah.
Had a Tower of Babel. You could make Ra's al Ghul the villain. You get the right person to play Ra's al Ghul. He can kill it. You introduce him. You introduce Talia. That sets up for whether you do a Batman movie. You got Damian coming in the future.
I like it, man. I would love Tower of Babel was on my bucket list of seeing in a movie. So if they were able to pull it off, I'm down for whatever happens after that.
They gave Aquaman fear toxin. He was scared of water.
I know, man. That was
they touched on that with that Justice League. I forgot what movie that was. They touched on that, but that's when Wonder Woman. He realized Wonder Woman, when she fought, she never considered losing. So if you gave her a foe she was evenly matched against, she would fight till she died.
Right.
Hey, Green Lantern think he was blind with hypnotic suggestion.
Yeah.
And he became blind because he believed this was a ring made it true.
It was crazy, man. Batman's got a plan for everything.
And that's how they need to have. I saw the clip of him on Titans. And man, that junk was just so ass, and I wanted to like that, but I guess we're gonna have to cut it short here, sir, because I know people got jobs and lives and whatnot.
Yeah, and I need to probably go watch Titans because I know that you try to get me on the Titans and I ain't watch it, but then I got friends who are telling me I need to watch Titans, and it's awesome.
Well, just know I couldn't make it through it. To be fair, nothing really impresses me, which means when I do say shit is dope, it typically is dope.
Right.
But Titans is good, and this is another one. And I gotta watch out for your nerd ass because we be in this mug 2 hours later. And that's why I like the original Starfire. But no, with Titans, it's like, I like what they doing. You know, me, I'm from the Midwest. I like how it's so Midwest. I like how Robin is a cop and stuff. But it's like a lot of it, it's like, it's despite itself. Like how they're always reluctantly turning a Beast Boy into a tiger. But it's never really too long to do anything. It's just, oh, look, a tiger. And then what's that in the back? I'm back again.
Oh, my God.
I'm more interested in seeing Doom Patrol than that.
Okay.
But the Titans was good. It was okay, I think. It's just the problem with all of that, and I've said it before, I fail to see why you can't make the movies and the TV shows coincide in some way, shape, or form. It should just be something like on how when they were saying with Luke Cage and all that stuff. Just y'all gonna act like this Civil War didn't happen?
Right.
Or the snap didn't happen? And it's just like,
they
for
like
me,
have a throwaway line and barely mention it. I hate it.
at least that, but I feel a lot of that shit is just poor writing because it's like, for me, I feel you can pull it off, but again, it's all about the money and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But I think, again, like Titans was okay. It's just I like how they introduced Jason Todd and they kind of kept it real, and Jabot Robin was like, yeah, fuck Batman. I think what was it, The Outsiders, Young Justice? I think that was good.
Oh, I haven't checked that out yet.
But
I need to check that out.
I guess the last comic thing I'm gonna say, that we're gonna finish up and let you do your plugs. But I think another thing they should work towards, and I think this would be dope if they can do it. Have you read Superman: Our Worlds at War?
Yes, I have.
That should be another one they should do because it brings Young Justice in every superhero team. You can have the TV shows doing something. They'll never got to interact with the movie or with the main characters.
Mm-hmm. I read it because it was such a hot point on the internet at the time when it came out, because you had your people who loved it and you had your people who absolutely hated Our Worlds of War. So I actually did sit down and read it, and I found it fairly enjoyable. So,
I love it. That one, that's another one we're gonna have to do one time. That one, Emperor Joker, that needs to be a fucking movie.
Emperor Joker is a ride in itself as well.
Man, when he ate all of China and said it was a waste of time, if we're gonna be hungry in 30 minutes anyway.
Right.
But like I said, Worlds at War, that junk was so dope just for the fact that and it's funny, shout out to It's My Podcast or whatever, because Handsome Bane put me up on that. And I remember this back when I was thinking it was on, was it MySpace? I forgot what it was. I was just saying, I can't stand Superman. Superman sucks. And Bane made me a Superman fan with reading that. And I realized, reading Our Worlds at War, Superman is dope when he's put in a situation where for all your powers, you can't fight wars everywhere at once.
Right.
And it was just dope how he was just it showed he was strong as hell, but he couldn't fight a war. He had to end up going to Lex Luthor like, just help me. I don't want no more, because he was trying to save people, but more people were dying. Man, that junk is dope. We're going to touch on that anyway. All right, man. You got anything you want to plug, sir?
Yeah, actually, I got something I want to plug. I want to tell y'all about I Black Man podcast by this guy.
Son of a bitch.
He's across the way from me, Miles Amadeus Prower. Brought to you by Hyphen Podcast Group, which also brought you this brand new, exciting podcast.
Yes, sir.
So he comes out fairly consistency, at least weekly. Sometimes I piss him off. He drops like 5 episodes in a week. So
yeah, I do.
We'll have to see if we can do that again. But that's my recommendation, and that's my plug, is my man Miles's podcast, because I love our Black Man podcast. Now what?
Oh, thank you, sir. All right, thank you. Well,
yeah,
okay.
Throw you off your game now. You're like,
Yeah, you did. I'm pissed about that. Okay. Well, first off, I'm gonna shout out my peoples from Talk Back to Podcast. My man Ja and L Double. Real great podcast. Totally pro-black. Real good conversation. They say some really decent stuff, deep stuff, thought-provoking stuff. Don't play it around your kids. Also, check out, it's like a podcast or whatever. My man Handsome Bane, K-Rock, really dope. We talk about wrestling, a lot of stuff about wrestling. Need to have a damn podcast by itself, which is wrestling, video games, cosplay. We talk about a lot of blurred stuff like we do. And also, all of these are part of Hyphen Podcast Group, what I call Hyphen Podcast Network, because I don't want anyone to steal that shit from us. And then we have to go beat somebody up for the name, because I'm about that life, son.
I believe it. I know enough now to realize that you're not playing when you say certain things.
Oh no, I'm not playing, son. I don't play. Like I told somebody at my job, I don't lie.
Right.
I ain't got no time for that. I keep it real, but yeah, all of the great shows. They got also, Browns in Our Blood was it's a great podcast.
Oh wow,
yeah,
that probably hurt you, didn't it?
A little. I think I lost like 5 days of my life.
I actually was just on that podcast yesterday talking about that trade. So
I know I peep that. I peep that. But yeah, and my cousin's coming out with a podcast soon called JS Revisits. I'm gonna be on there with him. He do album reviews. We talk about albums and times and stuff. We're supposed to be working on album reviewing that Comment Like Water for Chocolate.
Oh, dog, that is my album. Yeah, that's my all-time favorite Common album. It's probably I would put it top 15 of my lifetime. To be completely honest with you, Like Water for Chocolate. I love that album.
Oh man, don't get me started. Don't get you seen. I don't know if you seen. I did the Instagram post about that. Like that album hit me right when I was like in the phase of leaving teenager and becoming man, and it's just so much.
Dude, that was me. That was me at the same time. Yeah.
I learned from Common that like as whack as it was, it's not whack to be in love. And it's not whack to be like, I don't want to do that stuff everybody else is doing. I'm about to go do this other productive shit.
Yep.
And side note, also, y'all fucking around with this guy here. I'm going to end up probably start another podcast. There's mad shit I want to talk about. Like, I had an idea for this podcast. I said it's just a lot of people outside of this group just trying to, because I'm not a really outgoing person. So I just have ideas and I shoot to him and I'll say shit like I thought he would be like, oh, that's fucked up. That's stupid. He'd be like, oh, it's a pretty dope idea. Like, really? So it's like, I want to do some shit about this. And it's like, I was saying just about some hip hop stuff and not just like, hip hop heads. And it's like, I know you used to do music like me.
Yeah.
So it's like, we got an appreciation for the craft. It's like, we've been talking about just how this right here, this episode right now, we had an hour or something, right? It's going to probably take me like my job, my family, about a couple days to edit this shit down. I go through all that shit because we care about that shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Somebody asked me like, who your favorite female rapper? So I don't know. I always say Bahamadia. Nigga be like, who? Someone's listen to that. And just listening to real hip hop. Like I could do a podcast. We could do a series of podcasts just so.
I might have to say Jean Grey to that one.
And I couldn't say you were wrong. But see, the beauty of it is your ass did not say Nicki. Oh, you didn't say Cardi B? Now, mixtape Nicki is a whole nother thing. No. But yeah, I don't know. I might end up hollering at him about that. But hell, shit, we could talk about that on here. But I'm going to let you go, sir, because I don't want to be talking you to death and you be at work tomorrow nodding off.
Yeah, man. No, it's been super awesome. 2 things before I go. When your cousin's podcast comes out, make sure you shoot me a link so I can check that out. And then the other thing is, this is for you more than anything, Maps. If you search Hip Hop Manifesto on iTunes, I actually have about 13 episodes of a hip hop podcast I did a few years back with my friend. I think you get a kick out of listening back to those old episodes too. So that's for you there.
Oh, I got to then.
Yeah.
I got to then. And also y'all, please check out the Nextwave. Comics, you can try to find that shit in trade paperback.
Yeah, we were talking about Nextwave.
yeah. But that's the beauty of this shit. We all over the place. I think we did way more pitching. The whole point of this episode was to talk about why we love comics, get the Nextwave and pitch that movie, which we initially damn near did before the first fucking commercial break.
Yeah.
So we did that. Then we went on and because of him and it wasn't stopping me, we pitched fucking the next X-Men, North Star and all that stuff. So yeah, it's all over the place. But check it out, Warren Ellis. I'm depending on how busy this man is and how much he can read, we're gonna be covering a lot of shit because the shit that Warren Ellis has wrote. Oh man, I think did he write Freak Angels? I think he did.
He did.
Great comic. That's something that should be a damn TV show. All right, let me stop right here because we're gonna end up going forever. But
yeah, we don't give him too much the first episode. We want him to come back for something else.
So hopefully we'll be back, y'all. It might be Mr. Stank here with me. If not, it's cool. It is what it is. It might be somebody else, maybe more people. We always going to at least be my stank ass. And we're going to get back to some other stuff. More Warren Ellis stuff covers. A lot of stuff we need to cover. Like we said, Dark Reign. Oh, man, there's no limit forward or backwards. What kind of comics? Not DC. We not. So whatever. If y'all got suggestions, hit us up on Instagram.
And we ain't just on comics, man, because we'll do a lot of comics, don't get me wrong, but we are a blurred podcast. So who knows? We're going to get into some wrestling stuff eventually. We're going to get into more movie stuff. We're going to do music stuff. Sky's the limit, man.
The plan is is to cover NXT next time, next takeover if we can. We'll see how that goes. Because I would love to do a live while it may not come out when it's out, but just because, dog, we had some commentary in the fucking group text. That shit was funny.
Yeah, it would literally be us talking while we're watching the matches and reacting live. So,
which I think is quite ill. Yeah, we couldn't do WrestleMania. That would be forever.
I mean, worst case scenario, it doesn't work, and we're like, fuck it. At least we have fun, you know?
Yeah, hell yeah, I'm with that. Well, sure. Let's get up out of here because my computer is at 16%. Oof. Yeah, I thank y'all for listening, man. We really hate to leave, but we really got to go. Thank y'all for listening to a podcast called Fresh. Miles Amadeus Prower.
And I'm Kelen Conley.
Thank y'all for listening, and we are up out of here. Peace.
Cheer.
Thanks for listening. Don't forget to subscribe and comment. This has been a Hyphen Podcast Network production.
They're the bestest. I'm getting paid at exposure.
What's up, everybody? What up, though, from my Detroit people? My name is Kelen Conley, host of the world's greatest podcast, Hyphen Nation. And also, I am the founder of the Hyphen Podcast Group. Now, you may know some of our great shows like mine, Hyphen Nation, or I Black Man Podcast, or Catch the Show, or It's Like a Podcast, or whatever, or Browns in Our Blood if you're a Browns fan, or just an NFL fan in general, or Lemon on the Edge, or even Victory Jump Off Radio. But I'm here with a special announcement. Hyphen Podcast Group now has a Patreon page. Now, I didn't want to do this because, honestly, we're working on getting our numbers up. But what happens around the middle of the month is our web hosting, which is graciously provided to us by Eric Jordan of Browns in Our Blood. We forget to pay it because we have other bills, and then the site goes down. What happens is normally Catch the Show comes out on Saturday, and by the middle of the month on a Saturday, well, the site's down. And then I got a show I got to promote, and I can't do that. I mean, I can on Instagram, but I don't feel right not having everything on the site because the links on Instagram say link in the bio. So what's the point of going to link in the bio if you can't bring up the site? So start a Patreon page. Not asking for much, just looking to get roughly about $15 a month right now. That would be enough for us to pay for the hosting each month. It's located at patreon.com/hyphen podcast group. Check us out. There's tiers and rewards. You can even be on a show if you're crazy enough to pay us a bunch of money. But even if you just throw $1 in, which is the minimum tier, that means that you get your name mentioned on a pod at any given time. There's going to be a list of Patreons, and we will say your name, if you want us to, on a pod. And that's kind of cool. So if you want to support us and keep the site running on a timely basis, which is what we're trying to do, please check out the Patreon, man. And again, that is patreon.com/hyphen podcast group. And continue to check out our shows. Let your friends know about our shows. We're on all podcast listening platforms. And yeah, I appreciate it, guys. Thanks, y'all.